Okay, so I've been around the whole chassis with the descaler. Yeah, and the only problems are, there were less problems than I thought, but there's still problems. Obviously the crossmember snapped off down in there. And where are we? Spring mount, oh the spring mount's completely rotted out on both sides. You can see the crossmember there separated. I can probably even move it around a bit. I can't. So that crossmember needs sorting out. Spring mounts both sides. As you can see there, I shouldn't be able to put my finger in there. I'm not even sure what it's lifted on, to be honest. The other side's even worse. Down here, but zoom out. Down here by the mounts, that's rotted out. So that one needs sorting. Behind the fuel tank there is very thin, but I can't break through, so I may just... Oh no, there is holes. No, I do need to weld it. Okay, yeah, there are little pinhole holes. You can see them just in there. You can just about make it out. That's a shame. Other side's alright though, as far as I can see. Yeah, so the chassis has gone there as well. This spring mount's completely gone. Like if I go here, I can't get the fucking tripod to sit in the right area, but you can see there how it's just, there's nothing there holding it. So that'll have to be sorted. And then down here, there's another hole just there, which shouldn't be there. And then after that, I think any more holes you see are probably just factory holes, so they're nothing to worry about. But yeah, now I can get the truck out and sweep up the floor, and then we'll have a look at if there is any more rot. If there isn't, then there's no more surprises. Right. Okay, so to show you what I'm doing now. This truck's probably never going to go on the road again, so there's no point in doing a fancy job of it. This crossmember in the middle is still pretty solid. I've gone around it and it looks like shit, but it is still solid. So for what it's worth, I'm going to leave it as it is. But I'm going to do an old bodge I did years and years ago on my other vehicles. Basically, you get a bit of pipe. I found this on eBay. I've got loads of them here. 55mm on the outside diameter exactly. Then it's like 5mm thick or something ridiculous. But that's never going to rot out or snap. But 55 fits into the hole of this crossmember absolutely perfect. To the point you've got to just knock it in. There you go, that's how far the crossmember's bent. So all I've got to do is pull that up and get it in the right spot, and then I can just weld them in, and that's that crossmember sorted. How am I going to get that up though? Pry bar maybe? Let's get the big old bar out, wherever I've put that. Bit of that. Get it back underneath. There you go. Perfect. And we just bang it in as far as it goes. There you go. Oh, just like that. Whew, that's now in. As you can see there, so all I'll have to do is clean it up a little bit and cut it off. Not flush, but cut it off good enough so I can weld it there and all around the inside, and that's sorted then. Theoretically now that crossmember's going to be solid. Yeah. Right, I'll clean it up, cut it off, and hopefully weld it up, and that's the crossmember sorted. Alright, not the prettiest, but it'll do for this job. So it's just wet as well all the way around, around the perimeter of there. And then let's see if I can see. I've left the phone in the tripod now. Trying to show you is going to be difficult. Down here, you can see just there where I've welded to the pipe there. On the inside, it's welded to the chassis in there. And yeah, hopefully that will do the job nicely. Anyway, that there now is a very, very solid. That crossmember ain't going nowhere now. So, I mean, like I say, someone previously has already done this half of the pipe, which it looks rusty, but it is still strong. But you can see where, probably the bloke who did all the shitty welding on it before, and you can see where that link isn't in line. The link just there isn't actually straight. I thought the actual bar was bent, but it's not. Anyway, so that's now the crossmember welded up and solid. I'll clean it up and paint it, and it'll look just as good afterwards. So, yeah. Right, so we've got the spring mounts cut off. They're a little bit ugly under there, but it isn't. I've certainly seen that all rotted out. It ain't terrible for what it is. Anyway, so now I've got this nice bit of box section. I don't know how thick that is. 6mm, I'd guess. I'm going to be using that to make a new spring mount. I'm going to try to leave just a little ridge. You know, I'm going to leave these ridges here, here, and here, just so that I have something to base my new mount off of. I'll clean it up so it's welded, it'll be fine, but I just need that so I know roughly where to put it. Yeah, and hopefully I'll be able to do it all from the top. I won't have to do anything from the ground, because that won't be any fun. I've also got to change the bushes in these trailing arms, because that one I had to cut the bolt off, and the bushes are knackered anyway. Yeah, but the crossmember's sorted. I've welded up these corner pieces. The one over there has been done as well. I'll put a little plate on the chassis there, just so that hasn't got a hole in it. So no, we're looking good now. The chassis is still not perfect. The only way to make it perfect is to chop it off behind the cab and just make a whole new back piece, but for what it will be, I'm just going to work with that as what I have. Yeah. Right, so I think I already said that I've welded in the new spring mount now. I think it's cooling down. It's still a bit warm, but that's all nicely welded now. Well, I wouldn't say nicely, but it's solid enough. All in there is all plated up and everything. Obviously now you can see the bottom arm's missing. That's because I finally got it cut out. And I got to change these bushes. You can see where, let's go to the other side actually. There you can see where that's not actually in the centre anymore, because the bush is completely worn out. It's ripped off the rubber and it's just absolutely knackered. The front was doing the same. When there's weight on it, it just drops right down, so it's absolutely nuked. All these bushes do it, and the common conversion is poly bushes, which are those orange ones everyone sees on the trucks these days. They're solid and everything. Meant to be better, but I don't think they are. But you can't get the original rubber ones anymore. I'm too cheap to get the posh poly bush, so we're just going for the cheap shit ones. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Just fitting new bushes and just trying to get this side done and out of the way then. Yeah, so I've replaced both the bushes, and because I haven't got an air chisel with me today, and I couldn't be asked, and also I don't have any gas to heat up the normally I would get the gas torch and I would heat that up along there, so that line was, you know, cherry red, glowing red, and then usually the air chisel would just punch the bush out. But because I don't have that or the chisel, I went for the more bodgy way, but still worked, was cut it with a grinder and weld it back up when I'm done, which when it's in the truck you won't see it, and I've made sure the weld's gone all the way through and penetrated correctly. So that, and the bushes went in there nice and tight, so that'll be fine for what this is anyway. So yeah, that's how not to do it, is to cut it and weld it. I just want to say that now, you shouldn't do this, but I'm limited to what I have, so yeah. Anyway, so new bushes are in, and I'm going to chuck it back in there, get the spring in. I don't think I got any new springs lying around. No, I don't, so I'll just chuck the old spring in.